Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Thank you all so much for coming on and checking out this video. Yes, I do want to say I do raise Fabio, one of the best content creators for F1 25 and in F1 in general. He's a really great guy. I really appreciate him. Same with Tuki, aka Black Mirror, both amazing Twitch slash content creators for F1. So huge shout out to both of them. Thank you so much for coming into their community events, and I do want to say there will be more videos around these community events and other leaks very soon in F125. But other than that, this is our first time going into the community event, a very sweaty lobby. As you can see, we have EVE Connor, we have Gaming, Wash Frozen, HTL Llama, Mersaki, and of course inphratic and Tuki. There's a bunch of drivers in here, so this will be insane. I hope you all enjoy this video, and I'll be commentating over how we feel about this race. So sit back, relax, grab whatever you want to eat, and let's get over with it.
All the way from the back of the fight, starting dead last. He's going to come across the line, P1.
Alright everybody, welcome to this video, and once again, thank you so much for coming out for the final time. But going into this, you already see we had no qualifying, so this is completely random of where we're starting. Anybody can be placed anywhere. You could be a fast driver out in the back and a slow driver out in the front. But other than that, with having this no quality, it does spice up the race a little bit more. Some of the drivers might be put in the back, some of the drivers might be put in the front. And it really pushes more and more strategies, because when you're usually in the back, you'll want to start on a quicker tire to gain more positions off the start, and safety cars do happen quite often in all leagues racings, even competitive or, lower tier safety cars do happen, so strategy does matter a lot going into this race. I honestly didn't really have a great setup. I only had a time trial setup, and I wanted to go for the regular basic strat. I didn't want to go for the harder one this time. I usually go for the two hards, two sets of hard tires, but this time I went for two sets of mediums. And as we can see, there's actually rain at the end. So me and I think a couple other drivers decided to go out on the hards and see if we could make it to the end. But somebody accidentally readied up instantly, and we did not have time to change everything. So you can see right here, dang, we did not get all of the PSIs up on our tires, which we wanted to. But this does help us just a tad bit into the wet weather, because we do not want max PSIs. But having these high PSIs for the dry part, which is majority of the race, will be very beneficial. We'll have less tire wear, and we will be less prone to overheating as long as we drive this safe. We are running very high wings compared to every other driver around here. I'm pretty sure at the end of the race I was asking what everybody's setups were, and they were around the 25, 28 wing area. Well, we were in the 40s and 30s, so not a lot of people we were going to be able to beat on the straight line. So we had to be very fast in the corners. And if we were going to make any overtakes on the straights, it had to be very strategically, where we could burn all the battery and have DRS on them when they didn't. So hopefully we get that done here. Formation lap doesn't matter too much. We just want to heat up our tires, make sure nothing happens. A lot of people did get disqualified because they were messing about for formation lap. I mean, it's formation lap. Some people don't take it serious. Other people do. I was actually struggling to get the tires heated up in my fronts because of the high PSI, and I was on the hards, and hards are the hardest tire to heat up, but they do last the longest. So luckily we are able to get the Tempest. Mexico is a very temperature heavy track, and overheating is very easy to do. So you do want to keep your your PSIs pretty high to make sure you don't overheat them, but you don't want them too high to where you lose out on traction-based corners. There are a lot of traction-based corners, like in the end of Sector 1 and all of Sector 2. Anyways, coming into the end of the formation lap, we actually get pretty good parking here, and it looks like we start in 13th place, so I'm pretty happy with my position. Obviously, we're in the middle of the field, so it isn't the best of positions, but nonetheless, it's not dead last, and hopefully we can make up positions going off the start. Anyways, as we're coming in and we're finishing up our parking, the lights are starting to go out. 5 red lights. And away we go. We actually heated up our tires quite well, and we're able to overtake Low Pro right off the rip, and he's on the mediums, and Frozen, who is on the hards as well. We were able to get 2 positions off the start. But once again, this straight line speed is going to hinder us a lot. We have to brake quite early going into corner 1, as it looks like Tojo in front of us brakes even earlier, and that's a Nick Flies, I think, spinning his car, getting taken out into lap 1 already into corner 1. We actually play quite passive, and we don't lose or gain any positions off the start. If anything, we only lose 1 position, but we play that quite passively compared to other drivers. And we completely missed the braking zone entering sector 2, and that just absolutely destroys the start of our race. As you can see, we almost drop into dead last. The only people that we lose to are, or actually beat, are Low Pro and Tai Tai, and I was told that Tai Tai was not able to get his setup on going into this race, so that's why he is retired. And Low Pro, I think, did not do the formation lap, so his tires were quite cold. As we can see, Guvira, if I pronounce his name, I do apologize, Guvira, but he looks like he makes a mistake going into the chicane section, and we're coming into the final start of the final end of the lap, and we get a pretty good around the outside on Masaki, but we just weren't able to get it done. This is the first lap, but most of these guys are on the medium, so these hard traction zones, end of sector, all of sector 3, sector 2, and the end of sector 1 are going to be pretty strong to them, and it's going to be a lot longer before these mediums, degrade in tire wear, start to overheat, or where our hard tires will start to increase in heat, and where we'll get a major advantage. Hopefully we can hold Low Pro back for a little bit and see if we can get by Masaki. Although, after only a couple of corners coming into the end of Sector 2, we actually see Perksy spin off the track going through the quick high-speed chicane of Sector 2. So we do gain a position just off of Perksy spinning out his car, and we are losing time to Misaki just a bit. But within a couple of laps, we already are up behind Misaki once again, and he starts to try to get past Nikki, and it does not work. He actually touches the rear of Nikki, and now Misaki's in a vulnerable position for us to get by him, as now we have the DRS going with him side by side, but we do have more downforce compared to him, so we're going to be a lot slower. So we have to go around the outside, brake later than him. He leaves us the space and then tries to close the gap right onto us, so we have to be a bit aggressive, push him wide. And now we have the inside line coming in, and we're able to get the position done quite quickly. We do lose DRS on Nikki, but as long as we can push a bit quicker, we should be able to get into DRS. As we can see, we do. And as we get into the DRS of Nikki, we can even see Code that has our buddy Stompinator is actually spun in the chicane the same as Perksy. So that's 2 people now within a couple of laps that's spinning out of the same chicane. Now, a lap later, we're right behind Nikki coming in, and as I see our teammate Tuki, aka Blackmere, loses the rear on his mediums and hits the barrier. Now he goes, so we're able to go right through him. He does also have a 3 seconds, so I'm pretty sure his mediums are starting to give out. But we've saved enough battery. Trevor goes into the pits, and I think we're going to be able to get the position onto Nikki right here as we do. Even though we have a bit more downforce, we're able to burn all of our battery and get by him pretty swiftly. And now we're on the attack on JD. The Williams in front of us is the next driver we want to go for on the track. The one great advantage that we have right now is everybody seems to be on these mediums. The mediums have seemed to overheat and burn out a lot quicker than everybody was expecting. Our hards are in a great position right now. We're able to push so much harder on our tires, getting the temperatures in, using more tire wear, and getting more traction out of these corners already on lap 6. I mean, these hard tires are supposed to last for 21 laps, and we're already right behind JD within a couple of corners. We are absolutely flying right now. Coming through the fast chicane, we get another yellow flag, and I think it's Llama that actually spun. So that's 3 people now that have spun in the fast chicane, and JD just does not have the grip nor downforce compared to us. So we're able to get by him, and we do go a bit wide there. Luckily the game doesn't penalize us, and we do get tapped in the rear, so we do go a bit wide into the chicane, or the hairpin, I'm sorry, again. But that's 2 positions we make, one from spinning and the other one from just leaving us the space, and we have more people going into the pits as well. It looks like Betchy goes into the pitch and no one else, but now MJ is left very vulnerable. He's not within Stummer's DRS, and we're able to get by MJ quite quickly now too. So we're already up into P4, and there's one more medium driver ahead of us who is gaming, and Stemmer also seems to be on the hards. Now, within that same lap, it looks like gaming does go into the pit, so that leaves only the top three drivers. Only three drivers seem to have gone onto the hard strategy, and that was me, Stummer, and Frozen. Both McLaren drivers and me seem to have gone for this one-stop strategy, hoping for this rain weather to come, and we did lose a bit of time to Stummer, but he did get DRS on gaming, and that's why. So now that gaming's out of the question, we are able to start catching on Stemmer quite quickly. And we can see in front of us as well, Frozen has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So we are within a tenth of almost leading this race. Now, coming into lap 10 now, we skip a couple laps ahead. We're not there yet. You're not quite there yet into his DRS, but only a lap later, within 5/10. So Stemmer really started to fall off here quite quickly. His tires started to really decay and show his true race pace at the end of lap 11. Going into lap 12 now, Frozen's actually pulled a second to us, and there's a yellow flag. I think it was a car retiring in the pits, but we do have DRS on Stummer. We're able to burn all of the battery, and now we are in net P2 within a second of P1. Obviously, we have to watch out for this car retiring in front of the track. Very unsafe. But nonetheless, we're in a perfect position to win this race. We're within a second of Frozen, and we are in P2. Only 7 laps until we are within the top, 20 laps left, and then the range should be around there. But skipping forward again, we're on lap 13, almost onto 14, and Frozen actually goes into the pits. He stops using his tires. So I'm a bit intrigued on what Frozen's strategy was. The game even said the hards can last, and we can see our tires actually at 43% on the rears and around 20 something on the fronts. So not the best tire wear, and we are also starting to question, is it even worth it to stay out? Will the guys like Gaming and Dutchy catch us, as they're within 13 seconds? So there's a lot of time. Frozen actually gets ahead of them coming out of the pit, so now we're on the defense, hoping nothing happens for our position on the race, as only a couple laps later, on lap 15, a safety car comes out of nowhere. So that's really good for us. This lets us keep our position on track, and everybody's going to go into the pits. Almost everybody will be pitting for the medium tires. Now, going into the pits, we see Stummer actually did not pit. Later, I did find out he did have connection issues and was disconnected when the safety car came out. So the AI is driving his car at the moment. So very unlucky for him. But also Frozen, he did pit only 3 laps ago, stays out on his hard tires. So quite interesting. Stummer does go into the pits only a lap later because he was able to reconnect. But this does make it quite interesting for Frozen, as he does have these 6 seconds worth of penalties, and he's on the hards. His hards can go to the end of the race. He has done this hard strategy, and he is waiting for the wets. But is it really worth it for him to be on these hards? It's going to be a lot longer for him to heat up his tires. As we can see, only a bit later, lap 18 now, the safety car is in, so Frozen's gonna start this, and I get a horrible reaction. I don't even react, and Gaming's up my completely on the side of me, so I have to back off, wait till he breaks so then I can get a good start. So now we have a great start, but once again, this high downforce does not help us. As we can see, we're losing 1, 2, 3 positions right off the rip of the safety car restart. Almost 4 from MJ getting by us. We have to go quite defensive, losing almost 4 positions as MJ actually taps us on the side. We have to recorrect our car, but we do have the mediums. Our mediums actually weren't heated up at all, so we were not able to get up any heat, and we've already lost 3 positions off the start, and Frozen has just absolutely left everyone in the dust. So now we're sitting in this P5 position. We seem to be the only driver with a penalty, and now we have a penalty. We got an instant 3-second, no warning. Very unlucky. Hopefully the stewards can look over this later on. But nonetheless, we are fighting for these positions to finish the race, as everybody's no longer going to stop. These are going to be your positions for the end until the wet weather comes out. Now, only a couple laps later, we're still behind everybody, but the temperatures are now starting to be put into these tires. We're still behind Deji, we're still behind Trevor and Gaming. These guys are on the hards, and we are on the mediums, so we need to start using these now, as it looks like Deji has a pretty bad exit. So we're going to go pretty aggressive here, but we have to brake early. Remember, Trevor's there, and Deji completely misses the braking zone and tabs Trevor, actually spinning side, and then runs into us, then goes deep into the corner, and we already know he's being quite aggressive, so we just have to absolutely send it, abuse the grip that we have in the inside line, and now try to catch Trevor since we've lost DRS to Trevor. Obviously, we are on the mediums though, so it should be quite easy for us to get within a second as we do, and within the end of lap of 21, we have DRS. Trevor does not have DRS because he was tapped on the side. Very unlucky for Trevor, but he is basically a sitting duck no matter how strong his straight line speed is. He's going to put the car in none and just give us the position. Now, Gaming is in front of us. Gaming is on the medium, so he is on the same strategy as us. It'll be an interesting way to see what he does with this strat, but nonetheless, only a lap later, we are within DRS of Gaming. We are just able to absolutely abuse our tires as we actually get a warning for going across the line. Now, Gaming is another sitting duck on the straight, and we're able to just abuse once again the DRS and battery. No matter how high our downforce is, as long as we can have the DRS and they don't, we're still able to get that position done. Now, nonetheless, the rest of the race does get quite boring. We're able to pull away from Trevor, Gaming, and everyone else. As lap 27 comes around, the track is absolutely drenched now, and we all have to box and pitch for intermediate tires. Frozen, though, is in front of us with a 9-second penalty. Although he is 10 seconds in front of us, we have way more downforce than this guy, so we should be able to abuse our downforce in this wet weather conditions and try to gain time on Frozen.
MJ stays out.
Now, Frozen comes out of the pits. There's actually a yellow flag, and he gets a 10-second penalty. Now he has 19 seconds worth of penalties, and we're within 10 seconds of them. So we're leading this race by 10 seconds, and there's only 8 laps left. So as long as we don't lose a second and we gain time, we can win this race. But sadly, Frozen was running super low PSIs and was telling us his setup, and he was actually ready for the rain, but was just running low downforce to help in the dry weather, and that's why he pit so much earlier on the hards, because his tires were dead. So unfortunately, even with our high downforce, he was able to pull away. He does get 28 seconds of penalties, but with our 3-second, it does not matter. If we didn't have a 3-second, we might have been able to win. Nonetheless, an amazing race from Frozen, absolutely destroys the field, and we were able to actually get a pretty good gap on everybody. Llama is way better than us in the rain. Trevor uses full traction, and Gaming has one of the best race paces out there that I know, and we were able to pull away from all of them, even in dry and wet weather with so much higher downforce. So I'm quite proud of myself and proud of how we raced. As you can hear, we were actually quite upset that we lost. I did realize I had a 3-second at the end. I was like, oh, why am I upset? But P2 is still a great finish. I'm starting to become a P2 merchant at the moment. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the commentary of going over my strategy, race, and how the race even went in this community event. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Please let me know what you guys think. Should I keep doing this? Should I keep doing commentary over my races? Or should I just let the editing do its own work? Let the music go over all the races. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next time. Peace, everybody.